What's up, YouTube? The tubes. How you doing? Let me put you guys over here. Yeah. All right. Awesome. What's up, guys? Josh here, Momentum Productions. So I'm going to be doing a lot of prepping for some shoots I got coming up. So I had a shoot with Rob Riches yesterday, and I was using an automated slider, and I didn't realize until that shoot that I need to, I gotta lubricate some joints. I gotta, clean out some gunk in the gears. So I'll be showing you how I do that today. And I gotta be charging a ton of batteries today as well. So many batteries I can't even keep track of it. So I'm gonna be just talking to you guys and prepping for my shoots while I'm enjoying some of my coffee. So if you have any questions for me, please feel free to ask me. We can talk about anything and everything regarding the filmmaking. I just released a video yesterday about the top 3 camera moves for your DJI Mavic Pro. So if you want to check that out, I strongly suggest you check it out. It's doing rather well. It got quite a bit of attention, so I'm happy about that. So feel free to check out that video. It's gonna always be there, so you don't have to log off the live stream now to check it out. So yeah. Halvin Wolf, what's up, man? Favorite Netflix shows? Narcos, Stranger Things. What else is there? I think those were the only 2 Netflix shows I got into. Yeah. I'm sure I'm missing a few, but those are the only ones I can remember at this time. But anyway, okay, so I'm going to be taking apart some of my camera gear. While I'm doing that, ask me questions and I will answer them for you. Any doubts, any questions you may have about the filmmaking field, ask me please. And yeah, it will be fun. So I'm going to start off by taking out one of my Think Tank photo bags. One of those bags carries, I put all my batteries in there and 2 of my cameras. So, yeah, that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to take that bag out. Okay, so I need to charge. It's heavy. It's a heavy bag. Here's the Think Tank photo bag. This is my favorite camera bag. My favorite. I love it so much. This is the Think Tank Photo Airport Takeoff version 2.0. The reason why it's my favorite camera bag is because it converts into a backpack. So if I undo this zipper right here, it becomes a backpack. You see the backpack straps? And it's also a roller bag too. You can see the wheels on the bottom here. See? And the handle pops out from the top. Boom. See that? Isn't that cool? So there we go. Okay, here we go. Getting some questions in. All right. Will I even have time to take out all my gear? All right. Here we go. What lens are you using for your wide-angle shots? The Rokinon 14mm 2.8 lens. Boom. Answer that question. Steve Holt, what up, Josh? I would like to see the automated features on the DJI drones. I have the Phantom 3 and I hardly use the automation, but would like to feel more comfortable. Honestly, I never use the automation. I don't. I became so good on the sticks that I feel like I achieve the shot a lot faster and more efficiently if I just do the shot myself rather than relying on automation. So even though I think it's a cool feature, for me it kind of seems like a gimmick because I like to have more control over the drone and over the camera. So, and I have tutorial videos on how you can practice these shots. I really do. I just released one yesterday covering stick movements on how to create half orbit shots, some other cool shots too. Go get the Inspire 1 back. Nah, I'm not. I miss it. I'm not gonna lie, I miss it. But for the line of work I do, it's not going to work, unfortunately. Not going to work out for me. I don't use it as much as, let's say, the Mavic. Yeah. Tips for shooting on a cloudy day. Not well. On a cloudy day, it's like nature's natural light diffuser. So a cloudy day like today, like what it is today in Los Angeles, it's pretty cloudy. So honestly, tips, just shoot in regular. I don't even think you need an ND filter. It's not bright enough. Sometimes you do need an ND filter. Tips to shoot in a cloudy day. I can't really answer that question unless you give me a specific scenario. Are you shooting in a, in front of a white wall, dark wall? Like, what is the location? Maybe that I could better answer that. What else do we have here? So I'm gonna start taking apart my camera bag here. Maybe I can put it on I'm just gonna put it right here and just take out all my batteries. I think that'll be easy. I wouldn't trust auto ISO sometimes. Only do auto ISO if you're moving from light to dark very, very quickly. Let's say if you're shooting outside and then you're about to go into a tunnel or something like that. That's a good idea to switch to auto ISO. Let's say if you're using a camera like an A7S that can handle high ISOs very well, auto ISO works phenomenal. Yeah. Auto ISO is great for light to dark scenarios. So here is what the Think Tank photo case looks like. I have 3 Think Tank photo bags. This is just one of them. So I got some GH4 batteries here. I gotta charge everything. I actually had a scary situation. I was charging my GH4 battery and it started to burn. So I don't know if it's the charger. It's a third-party charger and a third-party battery. So I don't know who's at fault for that. But I guess time will tell, right? I got a fire extinguisher, so I think I'll be okay. Got a ton of chargers here. Cool. And then I gotta take out another battery from my Sony camera. And I gotta take out another battery from my A7R camera, A7R2. It's a GH4 right here. Okay, I'm gonna set this bag aside. Wow, a lot of stuff. Okay, let's answer some questions here before I find the cables for all this stuff. Do you ever plan to cut your hair too short? Ha ha ha. I don't plan on cutting my hair. Not for a long time. I've always had it short. Always had it short until just 2 years ago. I want to try something new. I want to see how long I can grow it until I just completely lose my mind. I think that's my idea for the future. By the way, I hope you notice, if you take a look at my professional videos, like my tutorials and review videos, you'll notice that I have a completely different persona compared to when I'm talking to you guys through a live stream. I have a completely different personality, if you notice. I think that's pretty funny what a camera can do. So, and all my clients are the same way too. We're all different. Whenever there's a camera in front of us, we act completely different. We put on a persona. So I think that's pretty interesting. I'm not that boring in person, trust me. I'm not. All my friends that watch my videos, some of the people that I've met because they found me through YouTube and I just ended up going to school with them or something like that. It's funny because they tell me I'm like completely different in person. Completely different in person. So I think that's hilarious. All right, let me grab my A7R2. Battery right here. And we gotta start plugging these things in. I want you to take a look at how many batteries I have. This is like, if this was currency, I'd be rich. Like, so many batteries, like, it's ridiculous. And this is not even all of them. I have more than that. It's ridiculous, guys. Let me start plugging these in. It's really important though, honestly, if you have so much equipment, you have to find a way to keep track of all this equipment. Keep a log. I don't keep a log, and I've lost hundreds of dollars of equipment because of that. I've lost really expensive cables, XLR cables, HDMI cables. I've lost chargers. I've lost batteries. Never a camera though. But it's a great idea to keep a log of all of your equipment. That way when you leave a shoot, you can just check off your stuff before you leave. And I have a little charging dock here, like a splitter. I put all my stuff in there. Now I'm missing one cable to charge a GH4 battery. And then in a second, I'm going to take out my slider and I'm going to show you how I dropped a battery, not good. And then I'm going to show you in a moment how I maintain my batteries. Sorry, not maintain my batteries. How I maintain my slider. Okay. Let's see here. Do you have any interest in purchasing an FS5, FS7, or even a Panasonic competitor that will be released in June? If not, why? Honestly, I love the FS5, FS7. The only thing that's holding me back right now is my line of work. I don't need that camera. I don't need the cameras that I use right now, like the A7S, A7R2, GH4. They exceed my expectations. They exceed my clients' expectations. The only reason why I would use an FS7 or FS5 for that matter is if I was working on a short film. That's when things need to be projected on a professional projector. That's when you use higher end gear. Stuff like what I'm doing right now, mainly for YouTube and for client stuff, for their YouTube channels and other social media stuff. The cameras that I use now, more than enough. However, if I ever want to do a short film, FS5, FS7, Red Epic, Red Weapon, that's what I would be using. And if I had the budget, maybe even a Panavision or Alexa, that would be. That's interesting stuff. But until I get to that point, I'm gonna stick with my cameras. FS7 just upgraded. They're now $10,000. Not bad, Sony. Not bad. Do you use any hand grips for your Sony camera? I don't. I never needed to because I always. Are you talking about hand grips specifically for, ergonomics, or because of the battery, how I can put more batteries in there? But regardless, I don't use a hand grip. I never needed one. I'm sure they would help me out quite a bit, but I never craved using one. I never ran into an issue where I was like, I need a hand grip. I really don't need it. Plus, when I use a rig or a gimbal, I have continuous power going into my Sony a7R II. So I'm not worried about that at all. So let me find... I need another cable really quick. Give me a second here. Here it is. Here's the cable. And charge another GH4 battery. Boom. Perfect. All right. A lot of batteries need to be charged. Any more questions before I get the slider out? So here's the thing. Here's what happened on my shoot. George Martinez, let me answer that question really quick from George Martinez. On your gimbal, do you shoot in manual or autofocus? I've been shooting wedding stuff since 2011, and I still use manual focus. It all depends on the camera, to be honest. For example, the Sony a7R II has so many autofocus points that it never has issue with focus, so I just keep it on autofocus. However, my A7S has trouble focusing sometimes. It has less autofocus points, and it has some trouble. So with that camera, whenever I use it, I keep it on manual focus on the gimbal. Yeah, it depends on the gimbal, on the camera and how accurate and how many autofocus points the camera has. So I think that's important. Okay, so anyway, let me tell you what happened. So yesterday I had a shoot. I was using my slider, my automated slider. You'll see it in just a second. There was an issue where I heard some kind of a high-pitched screeching noise, I think. And I realized that I never greased the bearings on my slider. So I'm going to be doing that now so that way I don't run into that issue, and I'm going to be testing it as well. So I'm going to have my handy dandy WD-40 here, and I'm going to be showing you exactly what I'm going to be doing. Right on. So before I grab the slider and before I grab the control module and all that other stuff, let me know if you have any questions for me before I go and grab it, because I might miss some of your questions. No questions yet? Alrighty then. Let's get back to it. Sonic Palette. Have you ever used Elechrone? Oh man, I love that company. I've wanted them to sponsor me for so many years already. And by so many years, I mean 1 year. I've never used Elechrone, but it's just in my opinion, it's a little overpriced. But they are probably one of the most innovative filmmaking companies I've ever seen. The sliders that they make, the rigs that they make, it's so innovative, it blows my mind. What's a good support system for the Ronin or Argo? So there's a few cheaper support options for the Ronin or Argo. A company called Lang, L-A-I-N-G, make a very very nice support system. It's basically two flexible rods that stick out of your back, and then they're flexible, and then they have two hooks that come down. They clamp onto the handlebars, and basically most of the weight goes towards your lumbar on your back. And honestly, I still prefer using my hands instead of my back, so I don't think I'll ever invest in a rig like that. I had an Indian company reach out to me a few days ago wanting me to review a vest system with a Steadicam vest system, but they never got back to me. I replied to their initial email, but they never got back to me. So hopefully they get back to me, they can send me that gear so I can review it for you, because that stuff is compatible with the Ronin and the Argo. It's basically a normal Steadicam vest with 2 damping arms, spring-loaded dampening arms, and you can mount the gimbal on there. Okay, so let me go ahead and grab some stuff. Another Think Tank photo bag right here. This is the Urban Disguise 60 Classic. I love this bag so much. So that's gonna go there. Here's another Think Tank photo bag. This is the Video Transport 20 case. This was my first Think Tank photo bag. I got it almost I think about a year ago actually. Love it. Love it. I keep my lights in here. It's the hardest of the bags that they sell. It's the hardest. So it's pretty awesome because lights are pretty fragile. So I put my lights in here and love it. Absolutely love it. Okay. So I got my Think Tank photo bags out. Next, I need to get my hard shell bags or hard shell cases out. Okay, this is the heavy part. These hard shell cases are pretty heavy. I have some light stands here. Don't need them right now. Just gotta take everything out. I have a Nanook case. Check out this Nanook case. Right here. It's like 65 bucks. This case is great. I initially got it for the DJI Osmo. But then I sold my Osmo, I gutted the case, I took out all the foam, and then I put custom foam in there, and now I keep hard drives in here. I keep hard drives in there now. So I think that's awesome. I love cases, guys. I have an obsession with cases. I just love them. Alright, next case. Here's another Nanook case. This holds my King TD Argo. So I'm going to put that right here. And here is another case. Woo! This is another Nanook case. This holds my DJI Phantom 4. Alright, here comes the biggest case that I have. And it's heavy, really, really heavy. Come on. Oh, there it is. It's big and heavy. That holds a lot of my slider accessories. I'm going to put that right here. Oh, man. Cool. Awesome. And I have another battery here that I need to charge. But I'll do that in a little bit. Oh, man. A lot of equipment, guys. I have to start keeping a log of what I have because it's getting really heavy. I still got to take out my slider. But yeah, it's a lot of equipment. I don't mean to brag or anything. I'm just saying, like, if you're becoming a filmmaker, don't spend all of your money at first. Do it step by step, in increments. You get a little bit of money here, spend some of it. Don't spend all of it right away. You'll be in trouble. Spend a little bit, And in the beginning especially, spend it on only stuff that you'll use every single time you shoot. Then when you progress, then you can invest in like time-lapse sliders, stuff that you don't think you'll need as much. A gimbal is one of those things that you'll probably initially need, because I use my gimbal every single shoot. 95% of the shoots that I do, I use my gimbal. Sonic Palette says, it would be awesome if you created a place to find your complete gear list, so up-and-comers like us can go through and see your choices. You know what? I will. But here's the catch. You have to be on my newsletter. Let me write out a new newsletter, and I'll send out exactly the equipment that I have, everything that I have. How's that sound? So if you go to my website, capturethemomentum.com, a pop-up window will come up. You sign up to my newsletter for free. It's free. I don't charge for that. You'll get my gear list. All right? Does that sound like a good deal? I think it does. All right. I think it's time to take out the slider. What do you think of the single-hand gimbal? The single-hand gimbal is great. Like the pistol grips, they're great. They don't perform as well as the full rigs with the dual handles, because dual handles, the problem is with one handle is that you're going to see more of that up and down movement from your elbow and shoulder. However, if you have two hands, you're kind of constricting yourself from doing that up and down movement as much. So, you know, it's always better to have more support than less support. But if you are traveling, let's say, yes, a pistol grip is your choice, is the best choice, but if you want true stability, you need a gimbal that can support dual handles. Just take a look at my Came TV Argo test shots. They came out extremely smooth, like better than I expected, and that's a lot of that has to do with because it's dual handle. Does gear matter? What kind of gear? Gear should not matter when it comes to you and your story. All gear does is it helps enhance your story, in my opinion. It helps enhance. And once you become a very good storyteller, you use this gear to enhance your stories to become an even better storyteller. So that's my opinion. I honestly don't think every filmmaker needs to have a drone, a gimbal, slider. No, you don't. I know filmmakers that only shoot on their iPhones, and that's honestly all they need. So it honestly, all it comes down to is if it looks good. Doesn't matter what it was shot with as long as it looks good. This gear that I have works for me. I'm very happy with what I have, so that's why I use the gear that I use. Young Blaze of Chi-Town. My Argo jitters. Have you tried adjusting the firmware, like the power settings on the motors? That's usually the issue there. My Argo jitters when I bump it or make a drastic move. That doesn't sound right, because whenever I make a drastic move, I mean, yeah, it does a little bit of a but it doesn't jitter. It doesn't jitter. That all has to do with the weight of your camera and if you have to make any adjustments in the software. Also, this happens if the balance is off. Yeah, it can jitter if the balance is off. So my suggestion to you, keep it perfectly balanced. And if that doesn't solve the issue, you got to open up the firmware. Look inside your firmware. Because I love my Argo. When I first got it, I had a lot of issues with it. I thought I had to return it because it was just glitching out on me. And then after messing around with the software, putting in random settings, I finally understood what I had to do to make the gimbal work. So I programmed it manually myself to be exactly how I wanted it to be. Let's take out the slider. I think it's time. So basically, the issue I had on my chute was with the pan motor. The pan motor was squeaking a little bit. Here's our pan motor. This goes on top of the slider. Ball head goes on here, camera goes on the ball head, and fantastic system here. And we have our gears or bearings here. It's all metal, guys. This is fantastic quality. Wow, it's all custom engineered. It's fantastic. So I gotta grease this up. It's definitely making some noise that I don't like, and we'll take care of that. Steve Holt says, I haven't had to do much to the Argo other than small speed adjustments and inverting the controller. Yeah, I had to invert the controller as well. But when you say speed settings, did you have to slow down the pan or speed up the pan? Because I think most people had to speed up the pan. I made another profile that is fast and slow. So I have 4 profiles instead of 3. The 4th one is the regular, more default one, and the first profile is the slower pan. Sonic Palette. Josh, I think it would be a great idea if you brought a second person for your live streams. More of a show of sorts, almost along the lines of Frono's photo. Okay. Sonic Palette. I think that's a good idea. I think that's a very good idea. Maybe I'll do that. Thanks for the suggestion, man. I appreciate it. Let me bring out the slider. It's a very big slider, guys. Cope with me. It's like I think it's over 4 feet long. It's 120 centimeters. Okay. Here's our slider. Oh man. I'm gonna take the computer module. Alright. Basically what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and mount, I'm gonna mount, let's see if I can make this work somehow. Sorry guys, I'm kind of off. It's okay. There we go. Alright. So let me show you what I'm going to be doing down here. Okay. You guys got a good view? So here's a computer module. For those of you who are curious what set I'm using, the slider set comes from Poland. It's from a company called Photon Accessories. I reviewed this slider that they sent to me, and it's been fantastic. I love working with this slider. Here's our pan motor. So I'm going to go ahead and actually push my laptop back, give me some more room here. Oh, don't want my iPhone cable to get in the way there. But there we go. Okay. Just like that. Good. What's going to happen is I'm going to put this right here. And then I'm going to connect. Here's a quick question. From cinematography. Do you ever have issues when balancing a glide cam on the light stand? And it all looks good, and once you pick it up, it's all off balance? Yeah, you have to do the drop time test. That's what's going on. It's definitely the drop time test. It's not, it's not working well. So here we are. We're gonna be connecting a power cable here. Okay. I'm gonna set my computer module off to the side. Actually, I'll hold it so the cable doesn't bend. And I'm gonna go ahead and plug in my battery. And I want to test the sound of the motor. See if you guys hear any weird sounds. Okay, you let me know. It's a little bit of a screech, don't you think? So this is what I'm going to do actually. I'm going to attach a ball head. I'm going to put some weight down on here, and maybe I can hear the sound even better. So let's grab a ball head. Put a ball head on here. And then I'm going to take a camera and just put a camera on here. Doesn't matter which. I'm going to probably grab a heavy camera, like my H7S with the long lens. I think that'll be good. But yeah. Do you need film school? No, you don't. You don't need film school. You need YouTube school. I learned everything that I know now from YouTube and the internet. So, I'm gonna take my A7S with a Canon lens. Guys, while you're on this live stream, feel free to share your work with each other. Don't think that it's all about me. If you have some work you want to share, post some links. Post some links to your channel. Do that. Use this opportunity to help better your, market yourself, better your business. Okay. Go. Tilt up a little bit. Let's see if we can get a better screeching sound here. I want to hear it loud. How come I don't hear it as much? Let me turn off my heater. Maybe the heater is just too loud. Because I heard it when I shot yesterday, but today I don't hear that weird screeching noise. The motor is loud, yeah, but I'm never going to be shooting it at that speed. It's loud because it's set to high speed, but right now it's set to a slow speed. But I don't hear the screeching. But I'm still going to grease it. what to do here. Alright, so let me take off the camera and let's grease it up a little bit. Let's see what we can do, right? Make it nice and smooth. It was screeching yesterday, but today it's not. What's the price of that slider? I think this one's around $1,200. Visit this company. Let me send you the link right now through the chat. Varanus.eu. Check it out. By the way, if you have any equipment that you want me to review, send me a super chat. The more donations I get, the more they go towards newer equipment or other equipment. That way I can review it and then eventually do giveaways. So the more super chats I get, the more donations I get, the more equipment I get to review and then give away. So don't be afraid to click that super chat button. Alright, let's see what we can do here. How important is it to find the center of gravity when balancing the glide cam? Honestly, that's very important because that's how a glide cam works, based on the center of gravity. Yeah. Young Blaze of Chi-Town. What's the worst piece of gear you've ever bought? Ooh, I have a very good answer for that. Two things that I bought that were a complete waste of money. A camera from Canon called the Canon XF305. Complete waste of money for what I do. It's a great camera, just not for me, and honestly, I had a lot of problems with it. So that camera caused me a lot of problems, and it lost me a lot of money. DJI Osmo also was the worst piece of kit, unfortunately. And the third piece would be the Optica SteadyVid Pro. That stabilizer was completely awful. And also a Flycam that I no longer own. I returned it 3 days after I bought it. But yeah. Okay, let's try and grease this up. You know, I don't like the screeching it gives out. It was really high-pitched yesterday and irritating. Luckily, I don't think it recorded on video through the lavalier mic, so I think we're okay. But I'm using WD-40 here to help out with that screeching. Yeah. Sorry guys, I'm a little concentrated here, so I might not answer your question immediately, but I will after I'm done here. And I might as well go ahead and grease my tilt head that I also have back here. See this tilt head? I'm gonna remove this really quick. It's pretty similar in design. I'm just gonna grease it. You know what, I'm gonna run it as well, probably. See, it's a little screechy, and I don't know why. Steve Holt says he would try lithium grease. Never tried that before. I don't think I have it though. Yeah, but the screeching isn't there anymore. It was there yesterday, but not today. Interesting. Auto parts store. Okay, I'll check it out. So I'm gonna go ahead and loop that. Okay. Let it loop. See how much quieter it is going in the other direction? I don't know why. Don't know why. Uh-oh. Sprayed too much and now I'm leaking everywhere. I gotta go get a paper towel, guys. I'll be right back. Oh man. What a mess. Grease, grease, grease. You gotta love it. You know, I think I found the problem. I think one of these bolts is screwed on too hard. Oh yeah. So I think I have a hypothesis here. I see one of the bearings moving slower than the rest. So there might be an issue with either the belt skipping or the bearing just having too much friction. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to find an Allen wrench and I'm going to see if I can loosen up some of these bearings. Alrighty. Okay, what kind of wrench do we need here? Is this the right size? Yep, it is. Alright, let's see what we can do here. You're making... You think that I'm doing brain surgery here. Okay. Donald, let me answer your question, bro. Okay, so Donald is asking, have you ever hit a creative writer's block? How do you overcome it? In the beginning, yes. Later, I haven't because I have a whiteboard list of ideas. So my biggest advice to you right now is to keep a journal. And you keep a journal, you have a whiteboard, you're never going to run out of ideas again. Done. Wow, Penny Popova. You nailed my answer. You even answered it before I answered it. Good going. I'm just trying to figure out why... Darling, I have been watching you. Penny Popova. Am I pronouncing your name right, by the way? Penny Popova? It's so bizarre. In one direction it makes that noise, the other direction it doesn't. Penny Popova, tell me about yourself. Where are you from? And when did you discover my channel? I'm curious. I want to be you? Interesting. No, you shouldn't want to be anybody. You should want to be you. About 1 week ago, I was wondering how many women are in the industry. Oh, interesting. Honestly, in the filmmaking industry, there's not as many as there should be. There's not as many as there should be. They're popping up, though. There's this there's another cool channel called Atola Visuals. She's a drone girl. She is a camera girl. She's a cinematographer. She's cool. And then there's another person. Her name is, I think, Drone Girl. If I'm not... I think it's Drone Girl. Yeah. That's the noise. That weird screeching. You guys hear, like, sounds like a cricket? You guys hear that? Screeching like that. Don't you guys hear that? Isn't that weird? Like the chirping, yeah. Trying to figure out why. That's the noise I was hearing. I wonder if that's the motor or if it has something to do with the belt. What do you guys think? Michael N says, when did you learn about film. What was your when did you learn that film was your passion? Cool channel, by the way. I learned that film was my passion when I picked up my first camcorder, and I just started randomly recording stuff. So yeah. Adorn the Truth Productions says that he's met a lot of women in the industry. Alvin Wolf says it's the belt. Interesting. I think you're right. I think you're right. How do I remove the belt? I think I might have an idea. Remove a few of the bearings and take the belt off. And then we put the bearings back, and then we'll see, or we don't even need to put the bearings back. We can see if it's either the motor or the belt. That light chirping sound is not good. Especially, I was shooting a cooking video yesterday, and I heard it through my headphones. So even though it might not seem like it's a big deal, your audio is probably going to pick it up. Unfortunately. So here we go. I'm taking off the belt here. Being very gentle. Okay, I think that's all we need. No, it's not the belt. Sounds like it's the motor. However, it only does that in one direction. That's what I don't get. So here's what I'm probably gonna do, because I don't like that. I'm going to go ahead and swap motors. I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and take the motor that's on this system here, and I'm going to put it in the pan motor. I think that's what I want to do. They seem like they're the same motors. What do you guys think? You think that's a good idea? Yeah, that kind of sucks. Unless there's a way I can... Hang on. There is a mode... there's a mode here that allows me to change the power of the motors. So let's see if that does anything. Jeez, it looks like it plays cassette tapes. Yeah, I know. Isn't that crazy? So I want to see if playing with the motor power has anything to do with that weird chirping sound. I think it doesn't. New track, okay. I see that chirping is still there. Drone Journey says, better to get an expert to fix it. Well, the people who made this are in Poland. Pretty far away from me. Huh. Maybe there is a way I can fix. Maybe I drop the power a little bit more. I don't want to set it to 2. That's no power. Alright, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to swap the motors, because I'm going to use pan a lot more than I am tilt. So I'm going to remove the motor that's on here, and I'm going to swap it with the motor that's on the tilt. So I'm going to put you guys back here. Maybe you can get a better view of what I'm doing. Alright, maybe I can tilt up a little bit too. Wow, we're streaming for over an hour already. Fantastic. Alright, shut off the power. I'm going to unplug it. I don't know why it's doing that. Actually, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to test the other motor. Maybe it does the same exact thing. I think that's smart. Before I do anything crazy, go ahead and test the other motor. Maybe it's just the thing with these motors. I don't know. It's a little bizarre in my opinion, but we're about to test it out and see. Alright guys, fingers crossed. Let's see what we got here. Tilt motor. I actually set the power back to 50. Set it to maximum power. Doesn't sound like it has that issue. However, it sounds similar. Forward and backward, the two different directions have different sounds to them. You hear the difference? But that weird high-pitched noise isn't there. Very bizarre, guys. So I need to figure that out. I don't know if it's a gear or if it's a bearing. Because it's something I can't really have on a shoot. It makes so much noise. I mean, that's unacceptable, right? You can't have a noisy slider on a shoot. You guys are quiet. Any questions? What's going on here? Not getting any power to the motor. Technology, guys, can be such a pain sometimes. What is going on here? You're pretty sure it's just my cell phone? What mic do I use? I have a bunch of mics. I have Sennheisers, I have Rhodes. I'm just shooting this on my iPhone right now. Steve Hull just said he watched the Tom Antos GH5 anamorphic shoot. Looks very organic, still 4K only till the update. It's making that noise, guys. I don't know why. Maybe it's just the sound of the motor. Maybe I just have to accept reality. What do you think, guys? Anyone here an engineer? I mean, you hear that? In one direction doesn't have that issue. However, in the other direction, it makes that weird noise. Man, that's not good. Guys, that is not good. Maybe I just keep the motor spinning, let the grease settle in. I feel like the noise kind of went away for a bit and then came back. Maybe it just has to work through. I think so. I don't hear it anymore.